Alrighty, howdy folks. We are back with another edition of the IPF Korea saga. And today, honestly, I can say this truthfully, I was pretty shocked when I found this out. It's very recent information, and very coincidentally, it is 100% related to yesterday's video about IPF Korea drug testing. So, in case you're new, and you miss a couple episodes, I'll recap quickly. Oops, sorry, over here first. IPF Korea sent Train True, our gym, and USAPL a notice a few days ago saying that both entities are essentially the same and that they're both banned. In case you don't know why that's weird, Train True is a gym. It is not a powerlifting federation. So why would these be linked anyway? Doesn't make sense. So that was in that document. And now today we got a crazy story. And again, this is all the truth. We have evidence to back it up. We don't make wild claims here. I will try to be objective. And that's it. And I'll let you, the viewers, and the public make a decision based on this information. Okay, so there is a IPF Korea lifter who posted a Instagram story several months ago. If you look at the date, it says, I think, October 7th, 2022. Okay? And he wanted to go to Asia, which is a regional IPF competition. That's why it's called Asia. Where was it held this year? Dubai.
Last year.
Oh yeah, my bad. Last year, right? So he was planning on going, but he had some doubts because he is on some medication, prescription medication regarding mental health. Okay. So he made this post stating that he decided not to go to Dubai because he thought, it's a mistake, but he thought, an honest mistake, that even prescription drugs for mental health were banned. Okay. And come on, like, are we expected all to know the policies of drug testing and know everything on the list? He didn't know. So yes, perhaps some people out there could perceive this as performance enhancing drugs, but he did not literally say that. Okay. And this matters a lot. He did not literally say, I'm on banned substances. He just thought that perhaps his medication could maybe put him on that list, you know? So he wasn't sure, and he decided to take the safe route, which is just choosing not to compete, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. At this point, I think the best route would have been, someone could have educated him on it. Like, he could have been told, oh, whatever medication is fine. But that's not what happened. So fast forward to his communication with a director at IPF Korea. Quite recent, Wednesday.
Yeah, the day our notice got posted on Instagram.
Yeah, coincidence? I don't know. Yeah, the day that IPF sent us that letter banning us. So the same athlete wanted to compete in a March competition for IPF Korea, scheduled for March 26th, coming up next month, right? And he already sent a deposit, or registration fee, not even a deposit. And he just asked the director, okay, am I good to go? And his response is below, in Korean and English. So I'll just go through it line by line. I prefer English, so I'll go on that side. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically it says, from the IPF representative, based on your Instagram post last year, you stated that you're on some sort of steroids. This is a big deal.
Yeah, he used the word steroid.
Oh, yeah. So you can see the word steroid is there, and steroid in Korean is there. Yes, I can read Korean. Surprise! That's the shocker of this video, right? I can freaking read Korean. Oh my god. So that's a big deal because I showed you the post prior. I know a lot of you might not read Korean, but it did not say steroid. Okay, it just said medication or the word drug if you want to, like literally translate it. But you guys know in English too, like Tylenol is a drug. Caffeine could be a drug.
Yeah.
It's a very broad term.
Yeah.
Steroid is not a broad term. So this is, I guess you can't call it defamatory because it's not like the guy posted this publicly. But at least personally, that's not true. He's just straight up accusing him of saying, you said you're on steroids. Okay. And then look here. That representative says you, the athlete, must vindicate yourself at your own expense. You need to do the following: show your prescription, doctor's note, and a doping test. But it says you must pay for your own KADA. Again, that's the Korean version of WADA doping test. Then you'll be allowed to compete. And oh, by the way, we'll help you on the bottom because it's kind of hard. And then you got to pay. Now, in case you guys don't know, this is not the official policy. Okay, I'm trying to take my opinion out of it, but as I said, I was quite shocked by this, so it's a little hard. This is not the official policy. Let me calm down for a second, because honestly, I feel bad for this man.
Yeah, he didn't know.
Yeah, he did not know. Yet he's being told to do things that are not following IPF policy. So what does this have to do with us? Well, it has to do with the fact that IPF Korea is trying to invoke all these rules according to the official IPF rules, but they're just making up their own rules. But again, I'm not going to just say, take my word for it. Let's look at the IPF website regarding drug testing rules. Okay? So here, if you go to their website, you can see their, frequently asked questions, their doping reports, whatever. And then I did my homework. Sukche, right? Oh, sorry. And I mean it, because this document's long. I read through the freaking entire document about International Powerlifting Federation anti-doping rules. And the important part is, like I would say over here, proof of doping. Okay. So look at Article 3. Burdens and standards of proof. IPF shall have the burden of establishing that an anti-doping violation rule has occurred. Not the athlete. The standard of proof is whether IPF, not the athlete, has established an anti-doping rule violation to the comfortable satisfaction, that's a little weird, of the hearing panel, whatever, right? And it says that, let's say that the burden of the proof is upon the athlete. That means once the athlete has been accused, then the burden of proof is on the athlete to go along with the testing procedures and whatnot. It doesn't mean the athlete is supposed to go get tested on his or her own. Okay? And then you can read the whole document. I really don't think you want to. It's a long and boring document, of course. It's just very detailed. But I read the whole thing, and not in a single place does it say the athlete will ever pay for drug testing. And let's just think of it from a bigger perspective here. Let's use common sense too. Why would an athlete pay for drug testing? Like the whole point of the federation and being a member of it is that the federation provides the service of drug testing its athletes. Why would the athletes do it? Do you think you walk up to like Stephen Curry and be like, yo, you got to prove to me through a laboratory that you're not on steroids. And by the way, you got to pay for it. No. If that were the case, the NBA would take care of it, right? I don't know if they test for steroids. It's just random athlete I think of, okay? What is the drug testing procedure? Well, I have this video of a very famous powerlifter. Calgary Barbell is the name of his gym. He is a famous Canadian IPF powerlifter, I believe a champion either now or then or whatever, but either way. Great guy, good content. Check out his YouTube channel as well if you want. But he says how drug testing works as an IPF powerlifter. So I'm not going to show the whole video, but he's showing. He gets out of meet tested too because he is a high profile athlete. He shows his schedule that he has to send to IPF. Yeah. And then, of course, he shows, oh, I'm just chilling. And then, boom, they show up in my house because that's allowed because he put it on the schedule. Then you say the whole procedure. He's talking to someone, not on camera, but I think this is the actual procedure, not just a reenactment. He goes, oh, oops, okay,
Whoa.
censored. He pees in a cup. He pours it himself. It's similar to USAPL, but yeah. He actually gets blood tested too. Yeah, that can happen, especially if you're a very high level athlete. It's usually urine test, but whatever. And yeah, and then he just talks about it. That's the procedure, okay? That's called an out of meat test. What they asked this Korean athlete to do is technically an out of meat test, right?
Mm.
Yeah, he's not in a competition being told to take this test right now. So clearly, they're not following the procedure. And the doping test is not, should I say, cheap. I think in Korea it might be like 300,000, like around 30만 won.
Mm.
And you might be thinking like, well, that's crazy expensive. Not really, when it comes to the perspective of the fact that IPF membership costs 800,000 won, and that each meet also has a registration fee. Those kind of funds are supposed to cover costs like that. And of course, it's up to IPF Korea, like how many times they want to do it or how many athletes they want to test. But if they want to do it, they got to go through the proper process, as they keep saying, right? Why else is this quite crazy, in my opinion? Why would this be legitimate anyway? Guys, think, what is the purpose of an out of meat test? It's a surprise. You cannot prepare for it. You're not told that, hey, I'm coming next week. Get your urine ready. You know, because think about that. If I tell you when to take the test and you know it's coming, then you can probably do something to prevent anything from showing up in the test. You know, I could be like, all right, let's say I'm on steroids. I'm not, okay? If you told me a month in advance that I'm going to be tested and I have to pay for my own test, I'd be like, huh, if I want to lie and get away with this and pretend I'm natural, then I'll just go off of steroids for this entire month and then I'll get tested. Because I can choose whenever I want to go, right? Because they told me to pay for it, so I'll just do it whenever I feel like it. So it defeats the whole purpose anyway, okay? Let's make another point here. Let's say, again, I'm not accusing this man at all of being on steroids. Let's just make up an imaginary person. Let's say an imaginary person is truly on steroids. Never said it publicly. And there are doubts about this person. You still have to let them compete and then test them at the competition. An in-meet test. I mean, you could do an out-of-meet test too if there's like, you know, pretty good reason to believe that person's on steroids. Okay. Now, if the person did admit openly, oh, I'm on steroids, then yes, of course, that person can just be outright banned. But again, this person never did say those words. The representative is essentially accusing him of saying that, even though he did not. And if it's so true that he did say he's on steroids, the policy is to just ban him, period. By the way, it does say on that thing, admissions are allowed. You see? Including admission. That means if I made an Instagram post saying I'm on steroids, you could use that against me and ban me. But he didn't. So you get it, like every single thing is not following the procedure and it's defeating the purpose of the drug test to begin with. And it is crazy to put the burden on the athlete financially and just personally anyway, right? They're essentially saying, you can't compete unless you do this. He's a paying member. He gave his money to IPF Korea already. He's being treated like he's beneath everybody and he's not allowed to do what he paid to do unless he follows their orders that aren't according to the rulebook. So yeah, sorry. As you can hear by my tone, this is very upsetting because this is not what powerlifting should be about. It's about being inclusive, having fun. This is very accusatory. Like it made the athlete feel bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's a shame because this guy, this athlete is a really good athlete. He won best lifter last competition.
Yeah.
And this type of abuse of power is happening to many top level athletes within IPF Korea.
Yeah. So, as I said, the purpose of this video is to show the public, I'd say, helpful information. I just want you guys to make your own decision based on this information. And by the way, I do have, of course, the permission of the athlete to post all of this, made sure of all that. And honestly, he should be innocent until proven guilty, right? So give him the chance and follow the rules. I think that's all we have to say today. Make your own opinions about that. Thank you. Peace.